quick, leave a like and subscribe in the next 10 seconds if you guys are hyped for the return of the Polar Peak Monster and the fight that's going to go down between the giant robot and this creature upon its return. Yo, what's going on guys, welcome back to a brand new Fortnite Battle Royale video here on my channel. So right now in Season 9 we stand at a point where we're ultimately just waiting for the live event to unfold, the fight between the Polar Peak Monster and this giant constructed robot at Pressure Plant. This won't be taking place, however, found in recent files until the following weeks to come, as the stages and dates of which these stages will be implemented were leaked, and in today's video we're going to be going over evidence from the game's files that indicate the returning event or next appearance in the outskirts oceans of the Polar Peak Monster. With that said, make sure you're sticking around and watching the full video today, because all of this information is newly implemented and fresh in the game's files that not many people will know about. Very quickly, before we get into any more of the video, I quickly like to disclaim that guys, we're so close and on the road right now, fast tracking to 500,000, half a million subscribers. So everybody watching the video right now, if you're not subscribed already, make sure you're slapping the big red button and also at the same time turning on the post notification bell to get updated as soon as new information releases in terms of the developments being made toward this live event or the live event and how it will unfold itself. I'm also currently running right now until July 20th, 2019 a free 2800 V-Bucks giveaway. You can either use these V-Bucks to spend on the Season 10 Battle Bundle or just generally spend them on whatever you desire. Here's how you guys can have a chance to win, and all you need to do to enter is leave a like in this video down below, subscribe to the channel with the post notification bell turned on so you never miss a future upload when I upload whatever I upload, and actively use my creator code on screen right now, code Friendly Machine, in the item shop. Make sure you're checking every day to see if this is reset, as this happens momentarily, and if this is the case, re-enter it, and the code will remain on screen throughout this full video's duration in the top left hand corner in case you guys happen to forget it at any point. Anyways, with all of that out of the way now, before we jump into the new pieces of information to ultimately understand those, we need to recap of what we've briefly seen in terms of appearances of the Polar Peak Monster. So the only assets of this creature we've seen is the eye from when it was frozen and inhabited, or basically trapped underneath Polar Peak before it fled in, then leaving traces of what its foot would look like in footprint form in the snow to the outskirts of the ocean. And since then, the only appearance, despite a recent footprint at Loot Lake, obviously destroying a certain building and chewing down on the Neo-tilted power supply, was from when the ice castle emerged from the water in the outskirt distance of the island and then momentarily after submerged back beneath it, almost indicating or basically trying to tease us that it was coming and remaining or residing close by to our Fortnite Island to then deal more destruction in the upcoming future. The Fortnite Island, as we know, has continuously seen certain amounts of destruction dealt that they always seem to bounce back from. However, this time they're already preparing to stop the destruction before it further faces anywhere in our Fortnite Island by building this giant robot at Pressure Plant, which is now in the stage of having both legs and obviously both thighs fully constructed. Considering we've never made previous preparations before mass destruction of our island or a certain part of it, we know that this event in particular, considering this is the case, is going to be bigger and better or more huge for the storyline than we've ever seen prior in any other live event or just generally in any other season, maybe perhaps showcased in a seasonal trailer cutscene. Also, just in case it's many of your guys' first time watching one of the videos I post regarding this event on the channel, well, we know there's going to be a giant clash or showdown between these two giant beings because of the fact the Polar Peak Monster is named as Catus in the game's coding, and in the game's coding for the giant robot, this is named Dogus, ultimately implying a cat and a dog will either clash at some point once brought together. It seems like we've been waiting a lifetime for all the developments to ultimately string together for then something to occur in real time in a game of Battle Royale that we can attend even just for a few minutes. But thanks to data miners, we may not need to wait more than we actually have or longer than we think right now, because they've actually determined when these next stages or the construction stages of the robot will be unfolding. Here's Fortori's tweet over on Twitter determining this, a very reliable source for Fortnite news and leaks, and he states the following: only 4 more stages left in the files. Till now, every 2 days a part of the robot got added, so stage 5 is the torso, stage 6 is the bicep left, stage 7 the right bicep, and stage 8 the forearm on the left hand side, which will actually be latest implemented, this forearm stage 8 stage, on the 14th of July 2019. This ultimately doesn't tell us the entire stages like the head or the shoulders or the hands or the fingers or anything, but considering this is the final stage in the files right now, and with live events only unfolding on a Saturday every season, we can determine that the latest Saturday that this possibly could happen or would most make sense before the Fortnite World Cup finals will be on the 20th of July 2019. Considering the 13th is the next Saturday, and obviously stage 8 will only be completed the day after this date. Also, as the tweet states, keep in mind that these dates could change, and this is a large possibility considering the Battle Pass timer for the end of Season 9 states one date, which would land on July 24th, 2019, however the website, and confirmed by Epic Games themselves from literally asking them, when you can ask them questions on their website, states August 1st. The delay of Season 10's release, however, is not affecting this live event, more so wanting it to unfold quicker considering the World Cup Finals is ultimately the main prospect, extending Season 9 into overtime, delaying Season 10. Also, considering the scale of this event, I doubt they'll want it happening during the World Cup Finals taking place over the 3-day venue of the finals because of the fact, well, this live event, they'll want all focus and attention predominantly paid to this rather than exchanged over various things such as the World Cup and this event itself. I understand that many of you may be wondering right now, well, he hasn't mentioned the Polar Peak Monster or how this ultimately contributes towards its return. Well, upon further construction of the robot, the creature or the Polar Peak Monster will become aware of this, and it's been determined that it will be making a reappearance to maybe stop the construction of this robot in the files, as new textures of what will be occurring in the outskirts oceans, just like we saw for the appearance of the Polar Peak Iceberg and Ice Castle, concluding that in the near future there will be some kind of reappearance from the textures of the water being leaked to resemble some kind of waterfall, with us also knowing the fact that we're revealed to some sort of different piece of the creature every appearance it makes, whether big or small, such as the eye, which we could literally see at the bottom or depths of Polar Peak's iceberg, then the footprints obviously left behind from the foot actually pressing down on the snow itself upon its immediate fled from escaping, then the ice castle attached to its back, obviously with us wondering where all the pieces and bricks were from the ice castle at the bottom of Polar Peak, and now, what is this going to be for this next appearance, very quickly happening in real time in the outskirts of our Fortnite ocean? Could this next appearance or reveal of the Polar Peak Monster showcase something completely different, or even perhaps just reveal more of what was contained underneath, attached to the creature's back itself or the creature's back of this Polar Peak Ice Castle and Iceberg? Feel free to let me know what you would like to see of this creature next revealed in the comment section down below. I'd personally like to see the head ultimately to determine what type of creature we're actually facing here, and see if the eye matches that was frozen underneath Polar Peak with the one that we see around the outskirts ocean attached to this head if it makes an appearance. Either way, despite what's upcoming for this event in terms of development, we know that it's teased to be of drastic scale, ultimately compared to through subliminal messaging and propaganda photos to the scale of destruction that entailed World War II. We know this not only off the most recently teased propaganda posters that have been in the files for some time, more so fast forwarding to now when the fourth and final one was decrypted and pulled from the files to show this poster with Jonesy pointing at us stating "we want you." Ultimately as if the giant robot isn't enough on its own to defeat this creature and we need to play our part in defeating it, which could be the case for us to play our part and ultimately try and save the Fortnite Island in Fortnite Season 9's live event. The reason we know our contribution as well as the robot dealing damage to the monster is a large possibility is because of the fact, well, damaged stealth structures by the community as a whole have been tested in Season 8 towards its end by escorting the more damage we deal further to Loot Lake, these runes. Also, upon arrival of all the runes to Loot Lake, opening the vault for us to attend the vaulting event, our input was the only determining factor of what item came back from the vault that was once vaulted permanently. If this doesn't prove to you guys that Epic Games value our involvement or the shaping of Fortnite as a whole, then I don't know what will, especially in terms of letting us contribute towards the destruction of this creature, ultimately trying to create some form of ultimate demise to the Fortnite realm. The very last thing we're going to be covering in this video before we end off is when the countdown will start and how this will be implemented for the upcoming Season 9 live event. We previously saw a timer for the Ice Storm event of where the Ice King burst out of this frozen sphere, ultimately sweeping the map full of snow and ice, making it completely white over. And also with the Unvaulting event as of recently, which didn't work for many, however still had the countdown to then unfold or open the vault allowing us to attend the unvaulted event. Both of these events had the final countdown for the event unfolding 2 hours prior before the event actually happened, ultimately letting people know, for a long enough period anyways, that something big was going to be going down in-game at that certain time of the timer ending. And I believe this will be the case for this Catus or giant robot fight event, considering we will have to hop into a particular playlist just like for the Unvaulting playlist in Season 8's live event, and then have the objective be just generally get a certain amount of kills like Team Rumble, extended to 200 like we saw for the Unvaulting event, but this live event timer implemented letting us know that upon that timer ending, we're no longer able to kill, and the complete mechanics of the game will be revolved around the live event itself unfolding and ultimately the consequences of it. Anyways, with that said, that's all the recent intel we have in regards to this Polar Peak monster fight against the giant robot, and the recent stages of the robot's development or construction, and when furthermore stages will be developed to ultimately finalise the robot itself. If you enjoyed, then make sure you're leaving a like on the video down below, or if you want to keep referring back to the video, as the liked playlist is an easy to access point of where you've saved videos to then review later. Also, make sure you're subscribing to the channel down below to stay up to date with the latest developments not only occurring for the end of Season 9's live event, but what will be included throughout Season 10 upon its start. Hopefully I can see you guys staying active in the comment section of my future videos to come, and I'm out. Have an amazing rest of your day or night wherever you are whenever you're watching. Have a good one, take it easy, and as always, peace.